This is Papa Brad coming at you with a quick look at a brand new modern shooter we just got today on iiRcade. How cool is that?
Captain, the station is under attack by an unknown force. Heavy battles reported.
So stoked. So without further ado, let's let Michael tell us a little bit about the game, and then we're going to take a look of it in action.
This is a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up. It is a very modern shoot-'em-up as well. So we're very excited to have this. So shout out to Com8. Com1 is the studio that brought you this game today. So if you like this game a lot too, go ahead and check them out as well. So with that, you might notice this is the console version of the game, right? So same thing as like a Switch port. However, you might notice on PC or Steam, there is Rigid Force Alpha. That's the original version of this game, which then was redone and remastered to bring you Rigid Force Redux, which is what we have coming at you today. This game has 6 different stages of amazing gameplay. So you got 6 amazing stages of gameplay, which increase heavily in difficulty in the campaign mode. You've also got 2 other modes in Rigid Force Redux, which include arcade mode, which is basically a separate version where you can play separate levels of the campaign. And then after you actually beat the campaign, you do unlock boss rush mode too. So once you see all the bosses, you can unlock boss rush mode. Each of these 3 modes in the game as well do offer easy, medium, and hard difficulty, all including variants in their leaderboards, right? So there are 24 different leaderboards for this game, which is amazing. It's nuts. I love it so much. So yes, so those of you who are shmup junkies and score chasers, this is definitely a game for you. It is a side-scrolling shoot 'em up. So there are elements of vertical, but generally speaking, this is a side-scrolling shoot 'em up. And with that, you get difference in variance with your weapons. So you can pick up different weapon types that do different things. You've got your main lasers that shoot just forward. You've got a more powerful orange kind of beams, which do a little bit more area effect, essentially. But then you've also got the green pickups, right? So the green power-up is going to bounce around. So you'll see it on screen just going nuts, going everywhere. It's amazing. So during gameplay, it's not just a typical side-scrolling shoot-'em-up, right? So even though it's a horizontal shmup, it has different variants in gameplay, along with sometimes verticality too. You are going up and down at times too. It's rare, but it does happen. But along with that, let's go over the controls, right? So Rigid Force Redux is very special in the fact that it uses something called force shards. So force shards are pickups along with those orange, blue, and green pickups to change your weapon type. The force shards are going to add not extra ships necessarily, but extra parts to your ship. So you can pick up to 4 of these. And with that, you can change from left and the right using the A and the C button to basically toggle your force shards backwards, forwards, or into a more powerful focus speed. So if they're all the way to the right side, you'll be shooting forwards in one powerful beam with all of them together. And then if you separate them once, you'll see them split, and then you'll have more of a bigger weight radius of fire. And then on top of that, you can flip them backwards after that too, and then you can also shoot backwards in one full force, right? So you got 4 different sections for 4 different force shards, right, that you can use. And this is going to come into play a lot. So sometimes there will be enemies in front of you, sometimes they'll be in back of you, sometimes they'll be above you even too, right? So you'll have to figure out the different gameplay types as you go and figure out how to get through and navigate these courses and defeat all of the invading enemies, right? So shooting in the shoot 'em up, right? You actually do have 3 other abilities, right? So you can charge your beams to charge and fire a very powerful shot. This is done by picking up little green energy orbs that you'll find floating throughout the levels after you destroy enemies, objects, things like that throughout the courses. You'll see these, you can charge them to pick up these energies as well too. There's actually the Y button to attract them towards you. So the attract button is going to pull in all of the energies that you see on screen, so that makes it a lot more easy to pick up, just in case, so you don't have to be going all over the screen and potentially lose a ship in that case too while you're floating about. Your other button that you have is going to be the Z button for Blade, right? So Blade is actually a force shield, essentially, too. It's called Blade. However, it is actually a shield, essentially, for you to block incoming attacks. This eats up a ton of energy, a big chunk of it, too, so you can't be using this all the time. However, in those really precious moments in boss fights and things where you're just surrounded by bullets and things are coming at you every which way, make sure to use the Blade, right? So it's a fantastic feature. I love it so much, and it is a strategic one at that, too. So if you're out of energy, you're out of luck on that one.
This game is a banger, man. I'm telling you.
I just downloaded it myself right now.
Best game of 2023.
Really?
I think it might be.
Hey, we'll see. I've been seeing some. I've been seeing some pretty decent comments about it out there.
Welcome, Captain. Rigid Force Alpha ready for deployment. Here are
Okay,
the
so
mission
what did
parameters.
Papa Brad think of this game?
It is stressed that
Rigid
no
Force
HCD
Redux.
Research Station
Well,
Menace is under
this
attack.
game is amazing. This is exactly the kind of game I want to see iiRcade releasing. It's modern retro. I mean, it's basically R-Type that's way more accessible for more players. You know, it's a lot easier. The game's graphics are beautiful. It reminds me of some of the best Dreamcast shmups, which combine 3D backgrounds with a 2D play mechanic. This game is fun. You know, in rating it, you know, it's hard not to give this a 10 out of 10, but I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10. The only thing I would have liked is for it to be longer. It's so good. I almost was sad when I had completed it for the first time. You know, that being said, there are 3 different difficulties, so you can really, you know, play different difficulties and it gets much harder. Basically, gives you a whole nother game. You got extra game modes.
Signal detected.
This is a solid 9 out of 10 game, though. And this is the kind of modern releases that really are, you know, echoing back to nostalgia and the retro that arcade lovers have. And you know, I heard people say, oh, we're just getting another shmup, but don't sleep on this one. This is a must-have game for iiRcade. This is going to be in one of my top games for the year, I'm sure. The play mechanics are super innovative. They're super easy to get a handle on. Even though it uses all 6 buttons, it's so easy to learn the controls. It just feels like everything in this game was so well thought out. And I love it. 9 out of 10 all the way. A recommended buy by Papa Brad. Check this one out. If you have an iiRcade and you like shmups, this is a no-brainer. I love the variation in the shooting that you have with the different weapon types, and the bosses all are amazing. Every stage of the game is fun to play. All 6 stages are awesome. And that's how you do it.
It's pretty dope.
I mean, and then the game just throws in cool stuff. Like this thing just pops out of nowhere in the middle of the desert. Just something cool to look at. I mean, that's what I love about this game. It's just really cool.
Warning. Mutated life form of type Botagore detected. Strong contamination by core plasmoid DNA detected. Initiate elimination. Entering combat mode.
This has been Papa Brad. Be sure to check this game out. And don't forget to stay legit. Also hit that thumbs up button. It really helps the channel, helps people discover videos. Thank you for watching.